Trump has been in office for around 45 days. We're going to do 5 winners and 5 losers from his first 45 days. Winner number 1, the cabinet.
Are in good standing or usually have good bipartisan support, and Senator Rubio certainly reflected that. There are other appointments, though, that I think there will be sharp differences with. Certainly the nominee for Secretary of Defense, I think, has a host of problem issues.
The U.S. Senate confirmed former combat veteran and Fox News host Pete Hegseth to serve as President Donald Trump's defense secretary.
I think the National Defense Director, who I served with in the House of Representatives, has her own set of...
I think he means Director of National Intelligence. I think he's talking about Tulsi there.
50 past the hour. Let's go to Vaughn Hilliard. What's going on in the Senate?
Tulsi Gabbard has officially been confirmed as the next Director of National Intelligence.
Problems. I think that the person that the president nominated for Health and Human Services, Secretary designate Kennedy, also has issues as
All right, the president's pick for Director of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has officially just been confirmed.
As well as the FBI designate. I think those 4 individuals particularly will certainly not have a unanimous vote.
Thank you. Thank you, Cash.
Winner number 2, U.S. Border Patrol and the dramatic decrease in crossings at the southern border.
Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Winner number 3, and I guess this goes to Trump. As of February 14th, 11 American hostages were released.
Keith Siegel's family waited 15 months to see him walk free, flanked by Hamas soldiers. And with a wave, he became the first American hostage released in more than a year. Friends and family finally got to watch him come home.
Winner number 4, this is a win for America. I would also for sure say it's a win for Europe. Europe plans to increase their defense spending.
I think I'll be a little bit more blunt than usual today, and our message on this day of a Special European Council on Defense is that it is about damn time. This is something that we have been asking for a long time, that the European Union, that Europe is capable of standing up on its own 2 feet. That's why we've been saying we need to scale up, we need to be prepared, we need to produce, and we need to protect. That is essentially what our citizens are asking from us. That is essentially what it will take for Europe to say that we are ready to put, finally, our money where our mouth is.
Look, definitely a win, and would that have happened if Biden or Kamala was in office? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Okay, winner number 5 is going to be the Midas Touch podcast. That is totally out of left field, but I'm just going to kind of keep it interesting and say they briefly overtook Joe Rogan as the number 1 podcast, but I think it highlights that there's like a lot of kind of money or value in being the opposition to what is going on. That's why I'm going to include them in this list.
Joe Rogan may have some competition. The anti-Trump Midas Touch podcast snagged the top spot on the charts this week. And right now it is still sitting at number 1 on iTunes and Podscribe.
And so here we're on the Apple podcast chart. As you can see, the clear number 1 GOAT of podcasting. Joe Rogan has retaken his spot, but Midas Touch number 3. And I want to be clear, like, I've actually never heard their podcast. I probably wouldn't like it, but I think it's important to not just be like this echo chamber. Let's not be the left over here, all right? Okay, now to the second part of the video. Maybe the more entertaining part, but the 5 losers. Number 1, the obvious one, we'll get it out of the way, the Democrats.
Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
He's up there flailing around. He's got, and I'm going, what? Wait, you think you're helping your party? Do you think anybody at home watching this likes this in the House of Representatives? But he couldn't help it because he hates Trump so much. And that's across the board.
I mean, look,
in the Democratic Party.
Loser number 2 would be the consultants or whoever it is that benefits from these wild programs that the government is now cutting.
Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million.
Similar to loser number 2, I would say loser number 3 is whatever consultants are benefiting from all the DEI stuff.
DEI is seemingly dead, keeping with the campaign promise made by President Trump. On day one, the new president signed an executive order eliminating federal DEI programs. DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, the federal government, the largest employer in our country, will set a new tone for other companies. NewsNation's Rich McHugh is live with how this is likely to trickle down, Rich, to other workplaces.
Okay, number 4 loser. I mean, this is a massive topic, so I'm not going to get into it other than just to say I think the number 4 loser is globalism.
And this whole concept with nationalism, you know, how the word is a bad word, being a nationalist. What's the antonym of nationalism? What is the antonym of nationalism? Globalism.
Globalism.
Okay, so listen, I'm proud of being I love my country. I'm not going to be a globalist.
Yeah, I've traveled the globe. Don't love all of it.
No, I'm good. Yeah. And this whole
So, I mean, we'll see what happens exactly with that. I mean, again, this is not the video to go into that, but globalism, number 4 loser, I think that's fair. Honorary mention, and I'm not even going to include on the list because even if it wasn't Trump, like if it was Biden, whatever, I don't think short-term stock market matters really. Like if you're that schizophrenic about it, you're going to be probably in for like an annoying time. But I will say, like in the short term, the market, this is when Trump won, so this is like the election. The inauguration would be somewhere around here. So as you can see, like since Trump won the election, the stock market's pretty flat. Again, I thought about including it because just not to be like too partisan, but the honest truth is short term, whatever. Like I think over the course of a full term, for sure, a president can be evaluated on that, but just a little bit of like rocky stock market. I mean, look at a chart of the stock market across any amount of time. It's a very schizophrenic thing. Like, I mean, look at this. This is a 5-year chart. Some of it's kind of cut off there, but like it moves like, it doesn't just move like smooth. So I know liberals are like kind of going, oh, the stock market, but I think it actually makes you look more out of touch, to be honest, when you go on about the stock market, especially in the short term. And loser number 5, and this actually might be the most shocking one on the list. Who is the leader on the Democrat Party? I mentioned like the Midas Touch podcast, but I still don't even really know who they are. I don't even know who's on the podcast. I mean, I don't think they have that much relevance in culture. Who is the person you could point to and be like, that's the leader of the Democrats? I think that's probably their biggest failure so far is they have not been offering an alternative.
But here's the bigger question. Who on the Democratic side are the American people pointing to and saying that's the person?
Well,
they don't have anybody yet.
Well, we're 6 weeks in with
Look, I think if you're on the Democrat Party in whatever capacity, that's got to be alarming. I mean, who's going to step up and kind of be the thought leader of the party? We will see. But anyway, with that said, I mean, yeah, I guess we will see. But with that said, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, and have a great day.